Allow me to introduce you to all the MCC Championship 32 teams and how your team can win the whole event. Stay till the end for my current ranking of the teams. For now, we'll just go in order of the team's announcements and unpack each player as well as the entire team's strengths and weaknesses. Hopefully this video gets you even more excited for your MCC 32 team, and if you still haven't chosen who to watch, then this video will help you pick your POV based on each team's best games and vibes. Now guys, we do have TwitchCon Paris this weekend on Saturday 8th and Sunday 9th July, which many of this event's players are attending, such as Sapnap, Karakorvis, and Smager, among others, which means less Minecraft practice for some. Not that Sapnap practices much apparently. Right, onto the teams. We are starting this off strong with the Red Rabbits with Anfrost, Ranboo, AimZ, and Good Times with Scar. I reckon Anfrost is going to sweat harder than normal, which I didn't think was possible, as he's with Ranboo, who of course is still looking for his first win. Ant and Scar have teamed twice before, so if it looks like Scar feels out of place in this team, he's not really. Scar also joined Ranboo to obtain a team placement of 3rd in MCC 28, so it's finally redemption time. The Misfits gaming duo of Ranboo and AimZ reunites, so it'll be a fun POV, particularly for games like Sands of Time, or it could be really stressful. Fun fact, this is the only team this event that doesn't feature any Season 1 players. The Rabbits are a decent cohort of parkourists, statistically 3rd and 4th in Parkour Warrior and Parkour Tag respectively. However, they are utterly shambolic at survival games, it's fair to say. Ranboo is statistically 40th in this event for SG, as he's had some unlucky early deaths. By the way, the statistics I'll be referring to in this video for a team's best/worst games are based on Scott's method of team building. I'll leave a link explaining that in the description below. Next up are the OP Ocelots with Dave Kratzy, Orange Juice, Mythical Sausage, and Smallish Beans. Yes, I know what everyone's been saying, this is seemingly the strongest team of Season 3 so far, but underperformances can happen. Owen has a lot to his name as a former MCC tester and 2-time non-canon event player, with top 10s in both MCC Rising and just last month in Pride 23. Owen only has non-canon stats, so of course they are exaggerated, but I still see him as a top 15 contender at the very least. Same for Dave, who is underrated in terms of MCC Island practice, having achieved his first ever first individual last month. Joel is not rusty, he just hasn't played since MCC 29, which wasn't too long ago. He might play for fun with Sausage, who has the potential to perform much better for his second event with this team. As I just mentioned, Owen's stats are extremely inflated, however Orange's best game by miles is Ace Race. I reckon Owen, Dave, and Joel can all secure top 15 unless it's a new map, which usually skews expected placements, as players can't study the full map. Hole in the Wall, Grid Runners, and Meltdown are all really solid additional shouts for games the Ocelots should aim for in the second half. The Yellow Yaks could beat them though, they've got Ant Venom, Solidarity Gaming, Fire Breathman, and Gemini Tay. This could be the Dark Horse team, not sure why, other than the fact that there's no clear-cut second frag. It appears to be Ant Venom, but his past stats are low for that. A lot of the heavy lifting is down to Shane Fire Breathman, but there is a ton of team and communication skill from Gem and Jimmy Solidarity. So if you see them doing well in Grid Runners and Sands of Time, you'll know why. Shane and Ant Venom used to have an Ace Race rivalry on the practice server, not sure if that's still going if Shane quit. This should make Ant Venom an amazing Ace Racer, a game he hasn't played since MCC 25, which was his second event, so don't trust his performance from that, he has gotten better. The Yaks are the strongest battle box team by the stats, thanks to Shane toppling the competition, which includes Sapnap, Kratzy, and Purple, with first individual in this game on average. Their only real shortcomings are Parkour Tag and Meltdown. They get last in both these, as historically Shane hasn't had the best time with these. Fruitberries is back on the Llamas, and joining him are Bekimon, Impulse SB, and SB737. In my opinion, this is the wildcard team this event because it's really hard to determine SB's level of commitment to the event, having finished 27th in MCC 30 after an egregiously large break, and on stream after that event he said he wouldn't practice too much if he got into the July event, which he is now in of course. He appears to not take it too competitively anymore. Then again, he's in the friend or foe SMP with Clown Pierce, so he's definitely sharpened up on his PvP, which is his biggest weakness in MCC. Fruit hasn't had the greatest start to Season 3, he still hangs on to the top 10 but only on the lower end of it, no top 5s this year, and his team placements have been equally lacking. For once, SB has a strong PvP team as he's joined by half of the MCC 28 Gingerbread Men, in Bekimon and Impulse, who went 9-0 in Battlebox that event, so they're looking for revenge after being kicked out of Dodgebot after such a dominant performance. Best Parkour Tag team, as all 4 players get top 20 in this statistically. They also secure first in To Get to the Side and Rocket Speed Rush, with Fruit and SB top 5 in both. Also first in Sky Battle, so yeah, a healthy number of combat and movement games to help them steal the dub. We're almost at the halfway point now, wrapping up day 1's team reveals with the Green Geckos made up of Dark Eyebrows, Elena EXE, CPK, and Sapnap. Both times Sapnap and CPK have teamed, they have made Dodgeball together, so a third time is always possible. This event welcomes back Dark Eyebrows, who started off in MCC Rising, then surprised everyone with a random but welcome sub-in MCC 31. Elena had a groundbreaking performance last month in Pride 23, 16th individual and winning the event, which is outstanding for the predicted 3rd frag. CPK, well, he's come pretty close to cracking the top 10 in Season 3, but alas, hovers just below it. He's been traveling a lot recently until now, so I don't think he'll be able to do as much trading as he would have hoped to do. The Geckos are statistically cracked at most PvP games, and not just because of Sapnap. For example, both CPK and Sapnap are top 10 Meltdown players. They're also 7th and 8th in Ace Race respectively, making the whole team the second best in this. Kicking off day 2's team announcements were the Cyan captains, consisting of Capitan Gato, Captain Puffy, Captain Sparkles, and Captain Peru, aka Shadoon 666. Geckos. Despite all having the title of captain, I think the clear in-game leader is Shadoon, even though it's only his third event, but his lack of experience is countered by above average game mechanics. Puffy has had a decently shallow showing for Season 3, averaging 30th, which is a slight improvement to what she was getting at the end of Season 2. This team is statistically more likely to finish lower overall than most other teams, however, they also have quite a high skill ceiling. And as we learned from the MCC 31 Red Rabbits, aka the winners, newer players can exceed the predictions. For example, Gato and Shadoon went crazy in MCC 31 parkour tag, giving them statistical placements of 4th and 6th respectively, which boosts the captains to become the second best parkour tag team, just 15 coins behind the Llamas. Gato and Shadoon are also top 5 survival games players, but with limited sample data having only played these 2 games once each, I'm not sure we can say for sure that Cyan are actually the strongest SG team. I'm sure they'll be up there though. Be warned, this is not enough team for Purple. The Aqua Axolotls are fairly strong as the first individual S tier is joined by Eric, Kara Corvus and Right Guy Rocky. Purple mentioned in one of his recent streams that he would be away in the days leading up to this MCC to film a video for his IRL channel. The location will have no signal, etc. So he wouldn't know the games or changes in the update video till the day of the event. Trust me, he still gets top 3. Right Guy is a very interesting choice for a second frag. It's not that I don't think he'll manage it, it's just that it's the first time he isn't the third frag on his team in quite a while. So it will be intriguing to track how he steps up to this promotion. Kara and Eric are also day 1 veterans of the event. Of course, they've had a ton of team ups with Purple in Block Wars, so they can certainly mesh with Purple's competitive playstyle. The Axolotls will likely dominate Sands of Time, the only game they are first in the event for, but note that they average middle of the pack in most others, and consistency is key after all. Kara and Eric are the top frags in SOT respectively, both top 10 on average, and look at that, for once it's not Purple on top, he's actually 22nd in Sands of Time. The Blue Bats are a really interesting team as they have Red Velvet Cake, Shubble, Smager and Wally Bear. Now me personally, it's between this team and Cyan for the weakest teams subjectively on paper, just judging by initial impressions, which means absolutely nothing as we've had teams in the past be deceptive about their actual performance outcomes, such as MCC 19 Cerulean Candy Canes, among many other examples. Scott made a bold and risky choice placing Wally Bear as a supposed top frag after only 1 event. Then again, he got 4th individual, so maybe it's reasonable. However, it's always dangerous to have your in-game leader lack experience, especially with just a single participation. There's limited data for Wally Bear, so his best games from his 1 participation in MCC 31 are also his team's best games, namely Grid Runners, Parkour Warrior and Meltdown. It's not just him though, Velvet and Smager have improved in these games too, so despite this team looking potentially risky and weak on paper, they'll rise to the challenge and will definitely pose a threat if these are the later games. As long as they avoid Ace Race, Sky Battle and to get to the other side, they're statistically 10th in all of these. The Purple Pandas are the penultimate team with Pizza Hut, Tapao, Snifferush and the Orion Sound. This could be a reasonably powerful team, and not for the reason you may think. Tapao's Season 2 performances are a far cry from what we saw him achieve in Season 1. This is his first canon event of 2023, so he does deserve an S tier this time. The HBG duo could be hazardous in all PvP games. I think the return of PvP is on the horizon. Pete still manages top 10 every single time. The reason this team is partially broken, however, in my eyes, is actually the third frag, Ollie the Orion Sound. His last couple events make me want to look into his eyes on the team graphic and say, fair enough, you know, a consistent middle of the road player. Snifferush just had their best event in MCC 31 with 23rd individual, proving they can catch up with the rest of their team if they all pop off. The Pandas obliterate any competition in build mod by over 100 coins on average, but as we know, build mod is the game that's least likely to be in for now. Even Bingo but Fast is a better chance of making a canon comeback. Based on this, you'd think they're a good team for communication games, but they're statistically last in Grid Runners and Sands of Time. Stick to movement primarily to get to the other side and both parkour games, and they should be alright. This is the final team, guys. Here we go. It's Gucky, H-Bomb94, Sneak Sag, and Tubbo to pitch the Pink Parrots. Gosh, Tubbo really likes the pink team, doesn't he? He's been on this color for all but 1 event this year, which was the non-canon Scuffed Edition. We just saw Gucky for the first time in Pride 23, where they instantly shot straight into the top 20 and into Dodgeball, only to lose, so surely they're out for vengeance. Mixed with a ton of fun and chaos alongside Sneak and Tubbo. Like Tapao, Sneak's recent events leave something more to be desired, but he also has some of the best vibe POVs, so it's not like he minds too much. Tubbo has been performing decently well with his recent teams. Sands of Time should be really interesting for this team in terms of comms. The Parrots have no standout games or even games that they struggle in, so the optimal game order for them is just down to what they feel confident in on the day. They're pretty versatile, but RSR and Ace Race may need to be prioritized. This does look like a hectic and chaotic team, so all I have left to say is this: good luck, H-Bomb. Well, that's all the teams. On screen right now is my preliminary ranking based on first impressions. They are very slightly influenced by TwitchCon. Seriously, this was too hard for my 4 brain cells, but this ranking is guaranteed to change as I see which teams are putting in the most practice and what games are announced, which I'll be discussing on Wednesday the 12th of July when the MCC 32 games drop. Enable post notifications so you don't miss that, and share your predictions in the comments below. See you, Minecraft champions!